What's going on, everybody? Ed here from Echo Outdoors. I'm going to be shooting some more videos on my land nav series coming up here. Hopefully most of you caught my video that I just put out. It's just kind of an overview of land nav, the tools that I use and that I think are important when you're going to be out in the woods, out in the wilderness, something like that, getting around out there. Recap: it was a map, compass, and ranger beads or some other type of pace counting tool or method to track distance and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and carry on with that series here next. The first thing I want to talk about is maps. Obviously I got the map here. I actually just shot this video and I really kind of hit the tip of the iceberg, and I was at like 30 something minutes. So I'm going to try to probably going to split the maps portion up into a few different videos, and you guys get to watch that because I don't have the joy of editing my videos. So you get to watch me blubber and ramble on. So anyway, so here we are. Like I said, we're going to talk about maps. I think maps are extremely important when you're going to be out in the woods, out in the wilderness. I mentioned something in my other video. I don't always carry a map with me. I don't always take a map. If I'm going to a place, like a small place, like I've talked about before, our little town lake outside of town here, I don't take a map out there for one reason, because I've grown up around here. I know the place really well. Two, it's really small. It's not really a big place. It's not a place you're really going to get super lost, life-threatening lost. Because, basically it's a big lake. It's kind of horseshoe shaped. It's got woods all around it. But pretty much everywhere around the lake, there's roads within close proximity. And they're roads that are traveled, quite often. There's houses out there on the lake, sporadically around the lake. So if something were to happen and I get turned around and you can get lost out there, but generally 99% of the time the lake's within view. So if you don't find out you're somewhere where you don't know where you're at, you can get down to the lake and just skirt the lake around till you find a house, or till you get somewhere where like the spillway or one of the two boat ramps, stuff like that. Or excuse me, if you get good and lost, you can pretty much just head out in any kind of direction and you're going to find a road, within an hour at the latest. You know what I mean? So you're not going to get super duper lost out there. So I don't really take a map with me. Another reason is it's kind of hard to get a map for a small area, to get a good detailed map of a small area like that. Generally the farthest you're going to get a map to zoom in is like a 1 in 10,000 scale. You might find more than that, something more smaller than that, but that's generally about the smallest you're going to get. And for a place that's only, a few square miles, something like that, you're not going to get really detailed. So like I said, I don't carry a map. I don't take a map. I don't even have a map for that lake. But something that's good practice, like if you're going to a small place like that, or like a smaller state park or something like that, especially if you've never been there or you've only been there once or twice, it's a good idea to go on to Google Maps, for example, or I'm sure there's plenty of other websites. There's all kinds of apps nowadays for phones and computers and tablets and stuff like that. But it's a good practice to get into, like I said, again, if you've never been to a certain place, to go on there and look at the map of that area. Take 15, 20, 30 minutes, kind of study the map. Gives you an idea to learn, or a chance to learn what's around the area. So if you do find yourself lost, you can think back. Okay, yesterday when I was looking at the map, there's a major road, to the east. So if I just head east, I can find that road and get out of here, or whatever the case may be. Find your way back, get to the road, find your way back to the parking lot, something like that. Smaller places, like I said, you're not really going to get super lost. I mean, you can get lost. Anybody can get lost. But smaller places are easier to get out of. But I would still, like I said, I recommend still at least checking out a map, learning the area, do a map recon, get an idea of what's around there. So that way, if you do find yourself turned around, you can get out safely. So now, when I'm going to places like a big state park where there's a lot of wilderness, a lot of woods, big woods, stuff where you can seriously get lost and be lost for days or something like that, I definitely take a map, and I highly recommend taking a map. There's all kinds of maps you can get. This one that I'm going to use is actually a U.S. Forest Service map. It's a map of the Gospel Hump Wilderness area in the Nez Perce National Forest up in Idaho. It's a place I used to go and hang out, play in the woods. Really neat place, but it is like remote, very remote. There's no houses, no nothing out there. So I definitely took a map with me every time I went out there. You can go on to, there's a website called mytopomaps.com. It is a great website. You can get custom made maps for literally any area you want. You can find the area on a map, you can zoom in, you can move the map around, you can want this much printed off onto a map, and you can get latitude, longitude grid lines, you can get UTM grid lines, you can get a topographic map, you can get an aerial photo map, you can get a satellite imagery map. They have a hybrid like satellite imagery / topo map combination thing that they got, which is a really cool thing. Then you can get them, different sizes, however big you want or small you want. I think the smallest it goes down to is like 18 inches by 24 inches, I believe. But you can get it laminated, you can get it on like waterproof paper with waterproof ink. There's just so many options you can get for pretty much any area you want on that website. Now you're going to pay a little bit for a good map like that. I think, like for example, I'm trying to think right off the top of my head, I think if you get a map, say 1 in 25,000 scale map, say it's 18 inches by 24 inches, get the waterproof ink, waterproof paper, and you say you get a satellite imagery map. I think it's going to cost you like roughly around $30. And I know some guys are quick to scoff at that, like, oh, $30 for a map. If you think about it, guys, as bushcrafters, outdoorsmen, whatever you want to call us, woodsmen, we spend a lot of money on gear. Okay, people go out and spend $100 plus on a knife, $200 plus on a backpack, $100 plus on an axe. Some of the clothes people buy are crazy expensive. Tarps and shelters and tents, hundreds of dollars there. So, and the theory behind it is, you want to have good, dependable gear because, your life might depend on it one day. Well, it's the same thing with a map, okay? You want to spend $20, $30, $40, $50 on a good map for an area that if you go to a lot, because that map could very well save your life one day. That map, if you find yourself in a bad situation to where your life's in danger, that map's going to be the first thing that's going to save your life. Okay? Before your knife, before your axe, before your shelter, the first thing you're going to turn to is a map. So you want to make sure you got a good map. Because 9 times out of 10, if, the life-threatening situation is going to be because you got lost. Right? Most people that end up dying or something bad happens to them when they're out hiking or they're out in the wilderness is because they got lost. All right, that's the number one reason statistically. Numbers prove it. You can't really argue that. And why did they get lost? Because they didn't have a good map. They didn't have a good compass. Whatever the case may be, they lost it maybe, which is something that could happen. And you really don't have much control over that. But if you're going to spend, like I said, if you're going to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on all your other gear because it could save your life, spend $30 on a good map because it could very well save your life. You actually have a higher probability of a map saving your life over a knife saving your life. All right. So that being said, this, like I said, this is a U.S. Forest Service map. You can get good maps from the U.S. Forest Service. I don't remember what I paid for this one. I got it quite a few years ago when I was living in Idaho. It was cheaper than $30, obviously. But, I mean, there again, it's not customized. You know, I couldn't get it customized to the way I wanted it. I just kind of had to work with what they gave me. But, I mean, it's a good map, and it worked real good for me. I used it a lot, navigated real well. Never had any problems with it. So, okay, I'll talk a little bit more before I cut it off. I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit closer here because I'm going to talk about a couple things on this map. Just for maps in general. Okay, so, say I'm planning on going out to the wilderness. I'm going out here to the Gospel Hump Wilderness in the Nez Perce National Forest. All right. The first thing I do is get a map. All right, of that area. And the first thing I do before I go out, it's, you know, a couple days before I'm going out. I got my gear packed. I got everything ready. What am I going to do? I'm going to sit down with this map. And I'm going to spend a lot of time learning everything that's on this map, okay? I'm going to study this. You guys can't see it real well. This is the key. Tells you what all these lines mean. All these little symbols, what all these little symbols mean. I'm going to learn the distance ratio. You know, that's going to be here to give me an idea of what, you know, how far is it from here to here, from here to there, so on and so forth. So that way, before I even go out there, I got a pretty good idea of what this place looks like without even laying eyes on it. Like I said in my other video, a map is your second set of eyes. I call it your big eyes. All right, you got your little eyes on your head that you see everything around you with, but you can only see so far. You know, you can only see sometimes at best maybe 100 meters through woods and stuff like that. A lot of times it's a lot less than that. So, you know, I'm only going to be able to see a very small area here. All right, this map allows me to see a very big area. Okay, so like I said, your second set of eyes, which is a very important set of eyes in my mind. So I'm going to study my second set of eyes before I even go out there. You know, a couple days, maybe even the day before, I might go over it again. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plan everything out. All right. I'm going to sit down and figure out where I'm going to come in at. You know, what road I'm going to take. The first most important thing I'm going to mark on the map is where am I going to park? Where's my vehicle going to be at? All right. And I'm just going to kind of use general areas here. All right. Say I'm going to park right here. All right. Say there's a little parking lot here, or what have you, or well, there's a road right here. Let's say I'm going to come down here and I'm going to park right here. All right. There we go. I'm knocking everything over. All right. So I got where I'm going to park at, right? And I'm going to mark that with a pencil. All right, or a piece of tape or something to let me know that that's where my vehicle is at. All right, because you never want to forget that. All right, if you get lost, you find yourself somewhere where you're not supposed to be, you at least know where your vehicle is at all times. So if you have to, you can get back to it. So the next thing I'm going to mark on my map, I'm going to take note of, is where's my camp going to be at? Where's my main camp going to be at? Where am I going to be staying at? Where am I going to hike all my gear to? All right. I know this is extreme distance, but like I said, we're just using this map for reference material. But there's a little campsite down here. All right. So that's where I'm going to stay at. All right. So my truck's going to be here, and I'm going to hike down here, and I'm going to camp here. All right. And I'm going to mark that on the map. So that way, at all times, I know exactly where that's at. Like I said, with a pencil, I'm going to circle it, draw a star. You know, you can write truck here, camp here, whatever you want to do. All right, but you always want to make sure you got those 2 points in stone on that map. So that way all you got to do is open the map. There's my circle. That's where that's at. You're not trying to hunt for it. Fine. Okay, the third thing that I'm going to look for before I even go out there, this is a big thing, is what is the biggest, most key feature on this map for this area? Okay, and why do I want to know that? I want to know that because if something bad happens and I am no bullshit lost, I don't know where I'm at. I can't even find myself on the map. I'm so lost. Okay, I couldn't even tell you. All I know is I'm in this general vicinity right here. All right. What's the biggest thing that I can get to that's going to be easy to get to? That's going to help me get out of Dodge. Well, for this map, it's this right here. All right, this river. It's a salmon river. All right, I'm going to take note of that and where it's at, because, like I said, if I get lost anywhere up in here, now I know that if I can't find myself and I can't find where I'm at, I know to head south. All right, I'm going to head south and I'm going to get to the river. Okay, just because I get to the river, does that mean I'm saved? No, but you've got a lot better chance of getting out along this river than you do being out here in the middle of nowhere. Okay, there's other campsites down here. Doesn't always mean there's going to be people there, but you got a better chance down here than you do up here. So, where am I going to come in at? And then, eventually, where am I going to leave at? Where's my vehicle going to be? Where's my camp going to be? And what's the biggest thing that I need to find that's going to help me get out of there if I get really super lost? Okay, 3 most important things I think you're going to have to find on that map before you even go out there. Okay, and another thing you want to do is you just want to take time. You want to take time to learn the map. You want to take time to, there's a lot of creeks and stuff like that around here on this map. But you want to kind of maybe try to find the big ones for reference points. You want to take a look at the contour lines. Kind of get an idea of the elevations and the lay of the land with the hills and the mountains and stuff like that. So you can kind of try to get a picture in your head of what this place is going to look like and everything that's around it. So you kind of have an idea of what you're walking into before you even go out there. All right? Study this, study this, study this. Learn it. Like I said, you're not going to memorize it. I mean, if you could memorize this, if you have a photographic memory and all that stuff, awesome. But still take it with you, but awesome. But if not, I mean, if you can't memorize it, still get a general idea of what's out there and what's around. So that way you're not totally lost when you go out there. Okay, so say I've been out there 37 times. This is the 38th time I'm going out to this area. All right, because I really like it out there. What am I going to do before I go out there? The same thing. All right? Every time I went out there, I did the same thing. I spent time with the map before I'd go out there, a couple days before, usually about a week before, and then again the day before I would leave, that evening. I would spend some time with it going over it again. Same thing, I'd find out where I was coming in at, where my truck's going to be at, where am I going to camp at, what's some things around that area that are key features that I might need to know. Hills, mountains, stuff like that, that I'm going to want to keep in mind, when I'm out there hiking around. And again, I still always took the map with me, okay? Because if you get lost, you're not going to probably memorize all that stuff. So, okay, key importances of the map. This down here is another part of the map. Okay, you got your key, you got your distance thing. It tells you how far, how many miles is. All right, you're going to want to study that. You're going to want to study the key. And like I said, learn what all these little things are. Kind of use that too. Put that in the back of your head. I remember there was a ranger station X amount of miles from where I was at or whatever, stuff like that. For if you need an emergency. You want to learn all that stuff on the side of the map. Keep an eye out on that stuff. This is another key part that I think is a really good idea on a map. I know you can't really see it that well. But anyway, this map is outlined like right here in the middle. And then this is a general vicinity map, which gives you an idea of what else is around outside of the area of this map. So that way, if you find yourself wandering outside of here, or, if you're really lost or whatever the case may be, it gives you things that are outside the realm of just this map. So you have an idea of what else is in the general area. So, all right, map overview. I'm going to leave that at that then for this video because I'm already at 20 minutes. So it gives you an idea of the importance of a map. Take the time to study the map, hang out with the map, become friends with the map, get to know the map before you even go out there. If you're going to a small place that's not real big, at least take the time, go on Google Maps, look at the maps, on there, make some mental notes, or even take a piece of paper, jot down some notes about the area that you're going to, so you have an idea of what's there, and you have an idea of what you need to do to get out of there if you have to, okay? So, that's it for this video. I'm going to turn around and shoot another one here, talking about some more in-depth detail things on the map. So I hope that gave you guys some ideas. Hope it helped you out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.